Project Management Basics Explained, written by Akdeniz, narrated by Andrea Ericson. Introduction. Management of ongoing business operations and processes require a different approach to the management of one-off tasks or projects. Project management requires a distinct set of skills and knowledge that enable you to establish, organize, and motivate a team of skilled professionals to ensure that a unique temporary endeavor is completed on time and on budget, through this delivering valuable outcome to a customer or organization. Throughout any project, it is essential for the project manager to ensure that quality and scope are maintained. Sadly, most projects fail, at least in part, to meet their objectives. Despite or because of this, over recent decades, project management has become a rapidly growing discipline in its own right, and this trend shows no sign of slowing down. Organizations at every level are beginning to understand the benefits of a formalized approach to project management led by an experienced, skilled professional. The advantageous effects of professional project management can be seen both in developing and developed nations, wherever such an approach is applied across industries in both the public and private sectors. There is a tendency among much of the general working population to belittle the role of the project manager or to view them in a negative light, attaching to the title a stigma of busybodies with no real relevance, authority, or skill. Skeptics readily announce that anyone can manage a project. As evidence, they state that project managers never existed until recent times. The skeptics argue that they themselves are perfectly capable of managing their deadlines or successfully completing personal projects in their everyday life, with the implication that managing a full-scale project for an international company requires no additional skill or expertise. This stigma is based on false assumptions and lack of knowledge about the complexities involved in the role of a project manager. To get the skeptic to begin to understand this, first ask them to think about how often they fail to achieve something that they plan to do in their personal life. How often do self-improvement or personal development projects that they undertake actually get off the ground? And how long do they manage to maintain the effort? This could be anything from weight loss and healthy eating to learning a language or decorating their home. If being truthful, most people will realize that they actually are not quite as great at managing projects as they like to think, even on this small scale. Next, ask the skeptic to consider what steps they would take to successfully manage a project involving a large team who may be spread around the globe and speaking different languages, with tight deadlines and budgetary constraints, the scope of which is set by an external agent with typically unrealistic expectations. You should see them back down fairly quickly. As glimpsed above, there is much more to the role of project manager than may at first be obvious. In some cases, this can seem daunting. Perhaps you have just been handed a project for the first time. You hear your mouth saying, "Thank you," but your mind is in turmoil thinking, "Oh no!" This new undertaking may thrust you into a role you have never been in before, way beyond your comfort zone. As you begin to assess what needs to be done, the myriad tasks and considerations involved in this new workload will likely soon start to look like an unnavigable, twisting labyrinth looming in your path. At the back of your mind is the knowledge that this is make or break for you. If things go well, it could set your career on an incredible upward trajectory. Of course, if things go wrong, well, let's not think about that. PhD stands for Doctor of Philosophy of, well, whatever subject you have studied. The reason is that philosophy, as a discipline, breaks subjects and concepts down to their essential elements and fundamental principles. Getting back to basics in this manner, understanding the fundamental building blocks of project management lays a foundation on which to build for those setting out on their project management journey, and also provides insight to the underlying reasons, too often forgotten, for using the more complex tools and processes familiar to those with experience in the field. It is always useful to step back and consider what you hoped to achieve when you started out and what progress you have made. It can completely change where the path that stretches in front of you leads.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?